The film opens with two military soldiers standing on duty. They are casually talking when they hear some noise. To their surprise, it's a group of flesh-devouring zombies that crave nothing but human meat. They start shooting at them, but the zombies outnumber them. They take down one soldier while the other manages to run away. He arrives at camp and informs General Vasquez about what just transpired. General Vasquez instructs the soldier to take a team with him and eliminate the threat. While the soldiers are bravely fighting the zombies outside, General Vasquez and other lieutenants are discussing their next moves. Just when they are talking, a group of zombies barges inside, and the soldiers begin shooting at them. The zombies take the lives of a few soldiers before General Vasquez arrives and shoots the zombies in the head. Another soldier walks in and informs him that the zombies are too many, but the military is handling the situation. This means that there is an outbreak and many people are losing their lives. After hearing this, General Vasquez makes it clear that he will do anything to save more lives and regain control. Then, we see three survivors equipped with various weapons. They just look like some ordinary people who are trying to survive. Suddenly, they come across a horde of zombies, and even though they keep fighting, they get outnumbered and the zombies feast on their flesh. We then see several news channels that strongly recommend everyone to stay inside and let the military do its job. Their explanation for the outbreak is that a virus is bringing deceased people back to life. Back at the base, a doctor is checking all the soldiers who fought the zombies. Some of them were scratched by the zombies, and the doctor believes that the virus may even travel through scratches. He explains how they have handcuffs and other things prepared if any of the soldiers turn into zombies. Then, General Vasquez orders that he wants to be updated about this after every 2 hours. After some time, a sergeant named Hernandez takes a team with her to a bridge. Their mission is to plant explosives there and clear out zombies, and in case the zombies are too much to handle, they can blow up the bridge. Then, we see a high-ranking colonel named Charon who meets General Vasquez in order to discuss this operation. General Vasquez explains that a military base was overrun by zombies nearby, and a lot of these zombies are now coming their way. However, the only way the horde of zombies can enter this area is through a bridge. General Vasquez wants more men for the mission and asks Colonel Charon for reinforcements, but he reveals that his men are also numbered. So, General Vasquez ends the conversation by saying that they will blow the bridge, if absolutely necessary, and Colonel Charon agrees with this plan. Then, two soldiers named Lynn and Rudd are sent to scout the area around the bridge. While they are wandering around, they hear screams coming from the forest. They find a man who is trying to force his way with a girl named Susan. Lynn and Rudd immediately tell him to stop, or they will be forced to engage. However, the man shows arrogance and pulls out a knife to fight them. Both soldiers have guns, so as he stupidly tries to attack them with a knife, he gets shot in the chest. Susan is scared, but relieved to get rid of the man. Lynn offers to help her and inquires if she is alone. She reveals that she is with a group of people and this man was one of them. They decide to walk her back to her group. However, the group is not welcoming of these two soldiers and wants them gone. Big Jim, the presumable leader of the group, steps in to talk to the soldiers. The soldiers inform him about the man they encountered in the forest and what he was doing to Susan. Then, the deceased man's wife appears from the crowd and begins defending her late husband. While this is going on, a young girl named Erin pulls out a shotgun and points it at the soldiers. Big Jim tells her to calm down, but all of them are agitated due to the loss of their member. They claim that the soldiers are outnumbered, and they cannot shoot all of them. They almost attack Lynn and Rudd, but before this shootout can be instigated, Big Jim tells everyone to calm down. Then, Big Jim pulls out his own gun and tells them to go away. Suddenly, the rest of the soldiers who were at the bridge also join this feud. When asked, Lynn tells the others that they had to shoot a man and save Susan, which ultimately started this fight. The late man's wife gets angry after hearing that her husband was shot, so she attacks Lynn. Taking this opportunity, another man moves toward them with a knife, but Susan asks everyone to stop, clarifying how the soldiers actually saved her. Then, Big Jim tells Susan to go away, and all the other soldiers also lower their weapons. Before leaving, they give the entire group a warning regarding how they are not safe here, since they are expecting a large number of zombies heading this way. However, Big Jim claims that they are safe and asks all the soldiers to leave. The soldiers then head back to the bridge. Here we see Lieutenant Whitmore, seemingly the one in charge, talking with Private Eklund, a soldier whose duty is to place the bombs on the bridge. After talking to him, Lieutenant Whitmore calls General Vasquez and gives him an update on the bridge. He informs him that the bridge is secure and that they have seen no zombies yet. He also mentions the group of survivors they encountered, and General Vasquez explains that they have bigger concerns. Then, Whitmore asks about reinforcements and General Vasquez mentions that they are on their way, knowing well that there are no reinforcements. After the call, we see another soldier named Sanders, talking with Lynn while placing sandbags on the bridge. They have a short conversation about their families, and how they should stop worrying about them. Later at night, Sanders is on lookout duty when he hears some noise. There is a manual detonator for all the bombs on the bridge and Sanders sees the detonator moving. It goes over the edge and Sanders immediately goes to check it out. The rest of the soldiers also come out to observe the situation. Rudd leans in to pick up the detonator, when a giant hand grabs his face and pulls his body. The rest of the soldiers try to help him, but they are too late. His face gets severely injured and he passes away. After witnessing this dreadful situation, All of them agree that the attacker is too big to be a zombie, and it seems like a strange wild animal. Then, Whitmore orders everyone to chase the animal. He also orders Hernandez and Eklund to stay behind and try to retrieve the detonator, since their job is to handle the bombs. They all go in the form of a group and begin searching for the animal. In the forest, they hear strange howling noises and get a bit scared. Suddenly, they hear gunshots and see that Sanders is shooting at something. He explains that something was moving too fast, but it was not an animal or a zombie. This frightens the group a bit more, and they notice that one of their members is missing. To deal with the situation, Whitmore makes a stupid decision and gives the order to spread out and find the missing team member. This means that everyone is on their own now. After some time in the forest, they all eventually make it back to the bridge as they are unable to find their missing partner. When they return, they realize that they didn't get rid of Rudd's body and now he has turned into a zombie. They hesitate to take his life, but one of their group members, Sherrick, almost instantly shoots him. Now, only a few of the team members are left, since Rudd has also passed away. The next morning, while Lynn is walking around, he notices that Rudd's body is gone. He immediately calls everyone, and they observe that there are tracks, meaning that something dragged it away. It is obvious that the mysterious animal came back and took Rudd. Then, Whitmore decides that they will follow the trail and hunt that animal. While they are going into the forest in pursuit, a zombie comes out of nowhere and catches Whitmore off guard. Others try to save him, but it's too late, and the zombie bites him. They shoot the zombie, but Whitmore takes his last breaths. Now, they have no choice, so Hernandez shoots him. She also announces that she is the leader and will give all orders from now on. Then, they head back to the bridge and Hernandez calls General Vasquez again. She reports that their leader and another soldier passed away while one of them is missing. After hearing this, General Vasquez orders her to stay on the mission and informs her that reinforcements are on their way. The rest of the soldiers also begin asking for reinforcements, so Hernandez calms them down by informing them that they will be here soon. Then, Lynn points out that they only have enough food left for 1 or 2 days if they ration it carefully. Sherrick points out that the group of survivors they encountered earlier could have some food, and they can take it by force. However, they speculate that they might also be low on food, which means they would have hidden their food in the woods. Hernandez thinks about the situation and decides to put forward a plan. According to this plan, she will send half of the team to the group in the morning and forcefully take their supplies. Meanwhile, the rest of the team will look for hidden supplies in the woods. At night, they are on the lookout when the creature strikes again. It grabs another person in their team and takes him. They contemplate trying to save him, but they hear his screams and decide to stay put. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Sanders suggests getting out of the place since they know that the reinforcements are not coming. However, Hernandez orders him to stay put and stick to the mission, no matter what. The next day, only 5 of them are left. Lynn and Sherrick head to the woods, while Hernandez and Sanders visit the group and take supplies. Meanwhile, Eklund stays on the bridge because they cannot leave it unguarded. Hernandez and Sanders go to the survivors who are, once again, not welcoming at all and want them to leave. The woman, whose husband they shot, also begins yelling at them. She is still extremely angry and wants them to leave immediately. Hernandez sincerely apologizes and explains that they shot her husband in self-defense, and it was absolutely necessary because of what he was going to do to Susan. Without wasting any more time on her, Hernandez moves toward an elderly woman and starts talking to her. She asks about Susan, so the old woman informs her that Susan has been inside her tent for a long time. She explains that Susan is very much disturbed by everything that has been happening recently, and she prefers to stay inside the tent most of the time. Hernandez feels empathy and suggests that the group join them near the bridge where Hernandez and her team can keep them safe. However, before she can answer, Big Jim interrupts them. Hernandez talks to Big Jim and mentions that other than the huge crowd of zombies, there is also an animal here that is taking people. Big Jim shows his gun to Hernandez and implies that they will be perfectly safe because they have enough weapon. When asked about food, Big Jim replies that they are running extremely low on food and are barely surviving. They were hoping to ask the military for food, but Hernandez makes it clear that they ran out of food as well, which is why they came here in the first place. She then offers to check out their perimeter to ensure their safety, while Big Jim claims that all of them are now in the hands of fate. Meanwhile, Lynn and Sherrick are out scavenging for the hidden food stash. While hopelessly wandering, Lynn spots a tree with apples. Sherrick tells him to climb the tree and get the apples, while he goes around looking for the hidden stash. Before leaving, he assures that he will meet Lynn right there once he finds the stash. As Lynn climbs the tree with a bag, Sherrick spots an old man walking. He immediately stops the old man and points the gun to his face. The man is shocked and scared, so he reveals that he is looking for a food stash. This confirms their suspicion that there is an actual hidden food stash. He tries to get the location out of him, but the old man does not know the location himself. Meanwhile, Lynn is picking apples when 2 zombies come his way. He tries to grab his gun, but it falls down, and Lynn is now trapped on top of the tree. Sherrick tells the old man to go away and not come back as he hears Lynn screaming. He rushes back and takes care of the 2 zombies while rescuing Lynn and taking the apple. Back at the survivors' place, we see 2 girls named Sarah and her friend Claire as they are talking about leaving. While Claire wants her to leave, Sarah claims that she needs to stay there because of her father. Hernandez and Sanders notice these girls and approach the 2, asking if they want to leave, but both of them refuse. Back at the base, General Vasquez gets a call from Colonel Charon. The general expects good news from him, but Charon admits that he is also low on men, so he cannot help anyone. He says that most of his men are with their families, and some of them passed away. However, General Vasquez makes it clear that the bridge needs to be secured at all costs. He suggests that men who went away should bring their families to the base because it would be safer for them in the camp, and then they can help secure the bridge, even though they do not have the supplies for the families. General Vasquez claims that it would all be pointless if the bridge is not secured. At night, Hernandez is on the lookout when she senses a presence. She catches a glimpse of the animal and alerts the entire team. After taking the necessary precautions, they move forward to hunt it down. But as they go further, Lynn discovers that all their food has been viciously eaten. This makes them wonder how anything can eat so fast. Now, they have no food left, but Hernandez points out that they still have water so they can survive for a few more days. Lynn also adds that he can get some apples from the forest, so there is still some hope for survival. Then, Sherrick comes up with an idea, which is to go to the survivors' place and loot what little supplies they have left. Hernandez also agrees, since they have no other option. While on their way to loot the survivors, they see strange trails in the forest and are unable to think of what kind of animal leaves such trails. Just then, Eklund arrives screaming. He informs them that all of the bombs they placed on the bridge are gone, meaning that the animal knows what it is doing. When asked, he claims that there is only one set of bombs remaining, which is not enough to blow up the bridge. Then, Hernandez orders him to take off the bombs and place them on top of the bridge, where they can see them. What's left might not blow up the bridge, but they can use them when the zombies arrive. She also informs Sanders not to throw the empty cans away. She orders them to fill the cans with stones instead, and hang them under the bridge so that they can hear anything that moves under it. Sanders and Lynn then fill up the empty cans with stones. This is when Sanders claims that they are being toyed with by the animal. In the morning, the team goes to the survivors and all of them instantly point their guns at each other. Hernandez warns them they should surrender, because they have more bullets and they can easily take out the entire group of survivors. While the others are not ready to give up, Big Jim tells everyone to surrender. He does this because no one else in the group had bullets except him. The others only have empty guns. When they reveal that they came here to loot every single supply they have, Big Jim gets terrified and points out that they all will starve to death. Then, Hernandez makes a brutal point. She tells them that all of them would die anyway in a few days, since they have no weapons, so it would not make a difference if they took all their supplies. After this, they barge inside and start looking around. While searching for food, Sherrick finds Sarah and Claire and begins flirting with them, but Sanders pulls him away, reminding him that they are only here for supplies. Meanwhile, Hernandez enters their main tent where they supposedly cook their meals, but she still finds nothing. The people there keep telling her that they have nothing, but Hernandez knows that they are hiding their food somewhere. As she comes out of the tent, she notices a man coughing. When asked, the people admit that they did not check him for bites. Hernandez orders the people to take care of him, or he could turn into a zombie and attack everyone. When they find nothing from the survivors, they decide to head back to the base to find another way to collect food. While walking back to the base, they notice a giant crowd of zombies. They immediately start running and make it to the bridge, but all of the zombies follow them. Hernandez orders Eklund to blow up the bombs they set up on top of the bridge. However, the bombs do not go off. Eklund keeps trying, but nothing happens, so they are forced to open fire. Countless zombies fall down as they keep shooting, but eventually Lynn runs out of bullets. The rest keep shooting until eventually, every zombie is put down. Once they finally take out all the zombies, they share how much ammo everyone has left. It is revealed that Hernandez has some extra ammunition left, but she refuses to share it with the rest. Later on, she asks Eklund why he was not able to blow up the bombs. He explains that some wires were damaged. Then, he mentions that there is another way to do it, but it will explode instantly and the person detonating it will also pass away. However, Hernandez does not seem to care about such a consequence and orders him to start working on it. At night, Eklund manages to fix the detonator, but the creature comes again and Eklund falls victim to it, taking the detonator with him as well. The team instantly comes out and begins to contemplate what they should do next. Hernandez claims that she will go after the animal alone, while all three of them guard the bridge. Everyone tries to stop her because doing so is a foolish mission. They suggest sticking together, but Hernandez does not listen to anyone. She gives them her gun and runs after the creature with determination. Meanwhile, at the survivor camp, the man who was sick earlier is about to expire. The group is thinking about how they should end his life, but when a man checks his heartbeat, he discovers that he has already passed away. Suddenly, the deceased man comes to life in the form of a zombie and starts biting people while wreaking havoc. In the meantime, Hernandez follows the track near a cave. She goes inside with the intent to slay the creature. In the morning, Sanders, Lynn, and Sherrick are planning their next move since their leader is gone. Sherrick suggests that they should just simply leave and Sanders agrees given there is nothing left to do, and they are low on ammo. However, Lynn is still worrying about Hernandez. Sherrick and Sanders try to make him understand that there is little to no chance that she makes it back, so he should stop being so hopeful about her. Meanwhile, Hernandez is walking inside the cave and sees the severed heads and clothes of all the victims of the creature. She goes even further inside. She starts to hear the creature, confirming that she is in the right place. Back at the bridge, Lynn hears a woman's scream coming from where the survivors are. Lynn wants to go help them, but Sherrick insists on leaving. They both get in a fight and he pins Lynn down. Sanders pulls him away and brandishes a knife. At the survivors' camp, Susan puts Claire and her grandma in a car. Meanwhile, Big Jim puts up a fight versus every zombie in the camp. Eventually, Big Jim gives up too, and all the zombies pin him down and start eating him. Meanwhile, Sanders stabs Sherrick in the stomach with a knife. Sherrick gets badly hurt and falls down to the ground. Realizing what he has done, Sanders begins apologizing to him, stating he did not want to harm him, but it's too late now. To put Sherrick out of his misery, Sanders ends his life. Then the two remaining soldiers both head toward the survivors to help them. Meanwhile, Hernandez engages the creature and it begins attacking her. She eventually manages to stab and pin it down. She then gets on top and continues jabbing a knife in its chest. However, the creature turns her over and starts hurting her with its claws. While Lynn and Sanders are shooting the zombies at the camp, Hernandez finally manages to jab the knife in the creature's chest one last time, ending its life for good. Now, Lynn and Sanders see that Susan and the rest are in the car, so they decide to leave with them. However, they realize that they have to shoot the zombie Big Jim as well to get the keys from his pocket. They eventually manage to get their hands on the keys and get away. While they are escaping, we see Hernandez, who is walking through the woods, severely injured. She is also carrying the detonator and plans to finish the job since she is already in bad shape. While Sanders is driving the car, he notices Hernandez walking toward the bridge. She gets in the car with them, and when they reach the bridge, she plans to get out, intending to blow up the bridge once and for all. However, another calamity hits them as they drive over the bridge. Their car gets stuck, and due to that, her plan is put on hold. Suddenly, zombies start to emerge, so she pulls out her knife and tries to fight, but they eventually start to eat her as well. Now, as the zombies are gathering over their car, General Vasquez arrives there with Colonel Charon and the rest of his men. They clear the bridge while rescuing everyone in the car. After doing so, General Vasquez sees Hernandez in her last breath, and before putting her out of her misery, he tells her that she completed her mission, and many people will live because of her. The movie ends as General Vasquez and the rest of the soldiers clear the rest of the area.